The wave of bank failures in the United States has arrived, and the market has already begun to show signs of panic. Recently, another bank, Republic First Bank, has collapsed in the United States. This is the sixth bank to fail in the United States since last year. Moreover, according to domestic predictions in the United States, if this high interest rate situation continues, nearly 300 banks in the United States are at risk of failure, and it might even trigger a second subprime crisis. Interestingly, among these failed banks, there are a large number of Chinese deposits. So now, many Chinese people in the United States have begun to transfer their assets, especially after the introduction of the Asian American Subprime Bill and the arrest of Chinese billionaire Zhao Changpeng. These people have clearly understood that they need to quickly pack up and run. Whether to go to Singapore or Europe, they just want to transfer their money to a safe place. And what caused this wave of bank failures? At present, there are mainly two reasons. First, the continuous interest rate hikes by the Federal Reserve have led to continuously rising yields on U.S. bonds. A large part of the hot money in the United States has gone to purchase high-yield financial products, which has led to a decrease in the amount of money circulating in the U.S. market. Many small and medium-sized enterprises want to raise funds but cannot get them. So there is a sharp decline in the number of IPOs. That is, the number of companies going public to borrow money has dropped sharply. In 2021, this number was 900, but by 2023, it has dropped sharply to just over 140. So now, small and medium-sized enterprises in the United States are in a difficult situation. Go public to borrow money? They can't do it. Go to the bank for a loan? But they can't get it because of the high interest rates. So after much thought, they can only withdraw their deposits from the bank to solve their immediate urgent needs. So you withdraw, I withdraw, everyone withdraws, which causes a bank run crisis. And the banks know that they need to maintain a certain scale of funds. Otherwise, when others withdraw money, they have no money to give, and a crisis will occur. So now everyone has withdrawn their money, which directly leads to the bank's shortage of funds. And the situation gets even worse. Some enterprises, although they are not short of money, but they see that so many people are withdrawing their money, they are worried that the bank will collapse. So they also follow the trend to withdraw money and transfer their assets to a safe place, which directly gives a fatal blow to the U.S. banks, pushing them towards the brink of failure. Second, and not just this reason, there is also a second way for U.S. banks to make money, which is to collect the interest on commercial real estate. Previously, they lent money to them, and now with the increase in interest rates, they can quickly collect the money and also solve the urgent problem. But the bad thing is that in these commercial real estate, they can't collect the money anymore. And not only can't collect the money, they also have the risk of collective collapse. The reason is very simple. Due to the pandemic in the previous 2 years, a large number of Americans began to work remotely. Even after the pandemic ended, many people still worked from home, which led to a significant decrease in the demand for offices. No one rented commercial buildings, so the buildings naturally became idle. And not only were there no tenants for the buildings, but many real estate investment tycoons, their real headache was the high interest rates of the Federal Reserve. If they wanted to continue investing in commercial real estate, they would have to spend a lot of costs. They all calculated together and found that in the current market conditions, it was simply not profitable. Yes, they started to sell off these properties directly, which triggered the collapse of commercial real estate prices. And the first victims were the banks that lent money to them, because many people couldn't repay the loans and became bad debts for the banks. And the sharp drop in property prices made it difficult for the banks to liquidate through mortgage. So the United States has constantly witnessed bank failure incidents. According to this trend, if the Federal Reserve continues to raise interest rates, it won't take long before the United States may experience a subprime crisis. And then the entire financial system of the United States will collapse, which is truly witnessing history.